Hey guys, Zainab here, Chief Driver at Nitro League. Got an exciting interview coming up for you guys, but before we get into that, let's talk about the 15th of November. Nitro Arcade is going live. I can't wait. We're going to be racing. It's a simulated arcade race, but you will get the first sneak peek into what the game's going to look like, what the environment is like, how we're going to be racing, what we're going to do, how much you're going to be earning when you do play. And who better to introduce us to that than our game designer, the one and only Irfan Khan. Irfan, thank you for joining us today.
Hi guys, how are you, Zainab?
Hey, all good, all good. We've chatted and we've done this a few times, so this isn't our first rodeo, right?
Yeah, it's just fireside chatting, I guess.
Yes, exactly. So Irfan, before we start talking about gaming, what's happening, what's going on, what you've been doing, tell us a little bit more of your background so everyone who's watching can get an understanding of who you are, what you've been doing, and how you got into this space.
Yeah, sure. Just a brief. I guess I studied in Canada, had in computer science, commerce, and then at the time there wasn't a lot of kind of game interest in the job world, so kind of went into the software side. But soon enough, there was a lot of game studios out there. I came back from Canada to Pakistan, and there was a lot of game studios here. So joined some successful game studios, launched about 400 different kind of games that included kids games as well as 3D games, 2D games, different kind of genres on various platforms. So iOS and Play Store were the main ones, but then we did release some PC ones as well. So there was a lot of experience that I had opportunity to work with a lot of good people, especially other departments like artists and developers. My passion was essentially just kind of creating a universe with a game that the game resides in, with a bunch of rules and rewarding systems and all that. So essentially a place where you can go in, play the game, and kind of enjoy. So that was the initial objective in the limited scopes that the games had. I guess a year and a half ago or so, you approached me actually for this project, and the beauty about this project was it wasn't limited in scope as such, because it is an NFT game with a crypto economy, which is kind of like a real world economy. So that was really interesting. It kind of then got us thinking about actually converting it into a racing metaverse, which makes it even more interesting because now there is an actual universe that I have to then design with the team and make sure that people can actually go in there, play, enjoy, engage as much as possible, and then eventually earn money from it while they're playing and winning races. Yeah.
I remember one of our first meetings. We were going through the game economy, and we were talking about coin. And we were talking about fuel and coin, XP and rep, and then we were talking about how much someone could earn in coin. And the numbers were significant. They were great. But when you're playing like Need for Speed, or we were playing GTA, those coins end up accruing very easily. And then I said, okay, well, fine. How about you consider that coin gets exchanged into fiat currency? And you were like, whoa. I remember that moment. I could see your face today. You were like, oh, wow. Yeah. And you've always known it, but it's absolutely a transition from game designing into this space in the metaverse, most especially a game where you have earning. I mean, I won't coin, we've got play to earn, and I'm going to put it on you. I was talking to Besma a few days ago and said, we've got play to own, win to earn, win to own. And I said, we've got to get a new word, a term, so we can coin it, because we're not a play to earn game, are we?
Yeah, so I think a lot of people have asked me this question, and the way I answer it is actually pretty straightforward. It's a product, so it can accommodate a lot of different type of models because it actually is focused on catering to different kind of users, players. So there are players that want to come into the game, play for free, enjoy, and they might never want to actually spend $1. Like they might be there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
And that's fine because they're actually spending time in the game. They're actually promoting our game. So in different ways, they are actually contributing to the game ecosystem, which is why those users are important. And we actually do cater for that. So in that sense, we do cater for free to play. Then there's players that actually want to play good. They want to actually perform, and once they outperform other people, they want to earn, essentially, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So
I do.
We also, so in that sense, we do provide a win to earn model as well. That if you're playing well and you win a lot, then you can earn as well. So free to play as well, you can earn. It's just that it takes a lot more time in the game. You spend a lot of time, you gather all the resources, and then you're able to earn. So I think before actually going to this model, it'd be kind of nice to talk about the core loop of the game.
I was going to say we segued beautifully into this bit, but we needed to jump a step a little earlier. So we talked about your background and then what you've been doing with game design. Tell us about Nitro Arcade, and give us a little bit of history. I've shared it and I've said it, but it'd be good to put it into this interview. What did we initially have in our roadmap, and what have we done that differentiated it or that's different now?
Okay. So initially when we launched, our plan was to launch a 3D racing game, skill-based, where you can drive the car and compete against each other, have a multiplayer game. And similar to like Need for Speed, Asphalt, if you put in a multiplayer and blockchain aspect to it. That's what our initial aim was. And right now, that is still part of the plan. And that is still being worked on. Some of the early shots are already in, and we've been playing it internally within the team. But since last year, I think about probably like 6 to 8 months ago, we wanted to have something bigger, essentially, because there was a lot of interest from the market, from our community, about having like a place of their own. Sort of like, so we introduced kind of like the metaverse concept, and that we don't just want players to come in and race and be out of it. We want people to come into our game and spend as much of the time as they would like to spend in there. And that doesn't include only racing, but anything that's related to racing. So for example, if you go to a real Grand Prix arena where there's a lot of like sounds and cars, you're not the one racing. But all the people that are there, they enjoy very much because there's a lot of socializing events.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great explanation. Yeah.
And there's a lot of activities and everything. And on top of that, if you can actually, rent a condo on the side and be involved in those activities a lot, or buy land or something like that.
So a bit of a F1 race / Burning Man / like a big massive festival where you camp out and live kind of thing, and just start your own community, start your own world, kind of thing. Yeah,
and then help out the community as well, right? As long as there's people in there, then you can help them out. So that's when the metaverse concept came in, and we've been working on it pretty hard since last year. After that, we also introduced in the middle that we have like this community that's demanding the metaverse, and they want to just hang out and they want to look at things. Then we have a lot of people that want to kind of get in the car and drive it,
start playing.
And then we also identified another category based on user demand, which was motorsport management, and that's sort of like in between, where they're not really driving the car. It's a simulated races. But what they do is they do have to make smart choices of what kind of cars they own or build, and then what kind of racetracks there are, and if they're taking the suitable car to the right track, then they will definitely have a much better advantage in the race. So the advantage of launching this motorsport management mode was essentially that it was quicker to develop because there wasn't a lot of like multiplayer driving aspect to it, and it enables all the NFT holders that we already have, all the legions and all the other NFTs that have been purchased. It enables those users to actually utilize their NFTs in this little motorsport management game, and then actually earn from it. So something that they would have been able to do, let's say, half a year from now, once the full-on game is launched, they can actually do now as soon as we launch this, and that's launching right away pretty much.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I mean, I'm interested into, so you were working really closely and still are, you're working really closely with the designers. One was our car designer, Ennis, did beautiful cars, love his cars. We worked on the naming. You designed the naming convention for the cars, and you've associated them according to their upgrades and their designs and what can be done. I touched on blueprints with Besma a few days ago as well, and I've done a video on blueprints. But I mean, everybody, you'll be able to check all these videos out on YouTube. We've got plenty of them coming out. But you worked on these things with blueprints. We worked, and we had our advisory and working on strategy from David Atkinson. He was supporting us massively. You work closely with him and the designing concepts, and I'm going to say it, and the spreadsheets, and your spreadsheets. Yeah. You designed a lot of this, but it's beautiful because, like you said, you've got the mobile, you've got the management, okay? You've got the mobile management, but then also you've got the racers, and then you've also got the free to play. And then we're providing the metaverse that comes in, which will allow people to just explore and build their world like kids would do on Roadblocks, like we would do on anything else. You know, you start with the property, you end up designing it and adding more features to it, etc., and hanging out there. So I'm fascinated with where did you come up with the idea? Because I love it. You had the idea of a lot of the cars, and each car had different racetracks, because we have hover cars and we have four-wheelers. We'll have three-wheelers in the future, and I want two-wheel bikes, please. I want bikes in the future. Where was that inspiration? Why did you want to do it that way? I mean, talk to me about the game and your thoughts and your thought process while you were going through this.
Yeah, so I think I wouldn't take credit for all of it, but there was a whole team involved, and I can't remember who came up with this idea, but mainly what we wanted was a futuristic setting. And more of a optimist future, not optimistic future, not like a
dystopian,
rundown dystopian, not like that.
Mad Max.
So we wanted to show that future, if we strive towards it, in reality, we can get to a future that's better than dystopian, right? We do know what's working for Earth, what's not working for Earth nowadays. So we can actually get to that point. So I think a big point in going towards this theme was to subliminally, subconsciously getting people to understand that, we can get to that future. We don't have to show or make games and all these things showing that the Earth is destroyed and, there's nothing we can do about it. That's to me, at least, that's not true. So that's how we wanted to portray as well, that, the future is optimistic. Now, being that, then there's a lot of, like racing games are in demand always. And there's a lot of passionate people in our team that actually go to all these racing events in real life as well. And so we wanted to kind of pick that topic of racing. When it came to cars, then we actually kind of divided them into classes based on how we thought future cars would be like from now till 1,000 years from now. So it included hover cars as well. That's one class, or Omega class. But it also majorly had other class, because in future we thought, just like horses, today there is horse racing tracks. People still ride horses, all that kind of stuff. But we don't actually go from point A to point B using horses. Similarly, in future, yes, there will be hover cars, there will be all sorts of different cars, or four-wheelers and two-wheelers, but majorly people might be using, probably will be using, teleportation devices, or they'll be, in worst-case scenarios, they'll be using hover cars or some sort of aircrafts or tunnel system to get through. Because it's a racing.
That's part of but that's also the intrigue with and part of the lore, because I mean, in the lore, we are in the future where we do teleport. We don't need to drive from point A to point B anymore. And the point
Exactly.
of driving is it's a prestige. It's not available everywhere else. So you being able to get into a car and you being able to race in the Nitro Arena is a place of honor amongst your tribe and amongst your clan. So you're pretty much an ambassador for your clan when you race on the track against another clan, which is why I'm trying to set up my clan, man. I'm gonna have a few of them and then set them all up, because it's a beautiful idea with what we've done with the lore. So when you're designing it that way, it's no, I love the way it all came together, and the future of that was
So in short, we just wanted a planet in the galaxy, where in the whole universe, I guess, where that planet will be kind of shouting out that, hey, I know nobody uses four-wheelers anymore, but if you like driving, then come to us.
Come and try it out and race. Yeah,
because we do have roads and we do have places where you can go point A to point B in cars. So that is going to be part of the universe. Like, you could actually drive your car around and everything like that. So that was the whole kind of motivation behind it. Now, as a blockchain game, all we needed was like a core loop that people can kind of go through. So in our case, the core loop for everything, like including racing, the land gameplay that's about to come next year, everything follows the same core loop from a player's perspective. You are supposed to go in and collect resources, collect prizes, rewards, as much as you can, and then you kind of choose which one you want, and then you build NFT assets, right?
Right.
You get rewards. Nitro is also token is also going to be rewarded to people in game who are performing well. On top of that, anybody can actually go in and collect resources and rewards, and then actually can craft or build an NFT car or upgrades. And that's the main thing, where people are going to be kind of crafting these NFT items for themselves, so they can perform better in races, or B, to sell on the marketplace. And that's essentially the whole loop. You farm, you build, and then you kind of trade. So
right. And that's important in a loop for any game, but the way we've built it for the blockchain absolutely applies all of that. I wanted to ask you about we've got the robots in the garage, and then we've also got the pit pals. Tell us a little bit more about those guys and what they do for us.
Yeah, those guys, people want to see them in action as soon as possible. So hopefully we can have them up and running. Yeah. So
we've got to get a photo. We've got to get an image of that up during this interview, so everyone knows what we're talking about. So I'll make sure that we have that up. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so these bots are going to be essentially your companion in different ways. There is bots that are going to be just in the garage part, where they tell you what to do. They kind of roam around. They do certain actions for you, for example, claiming your daily rewards, stuff like that. But majority of the robots will have kind of dual functionalities. Mm-hmm. So the bot you see in the garage, for example, will also serve as a pit pal at the pit stops during the games. So if you have him on the team during races, then you will finish faster, because he's going to actually give you a time advantage during your pit stops. And that's the pit pal. And then there's also going to be robots that are going to assist you on your land. So there's going to be lots of land activities that need to be done, including crafting and all that. That this
crafting and mining. We've got mining.
Mining resources, crafting, and then auto claim, etc. So they will be helping us. So there's going to be different kind of bots. They're all going to be your companions. They're going to kind of wave around to you and kind of guide you and whatnot. But they will have specific functionality as well that they do, like working at the pit stop, or working at a landmine, or working at a crafting facility.
They'll unlock different rewards for you. They're advantageous. Now, would a player that came in in free-to-play mode, would they be able to have a pit pal?
Yeah, more or less, because anybody. So how the game kind of works is, if you are a user that is free, that hasn't purchased anything, then you kind of race in the free events, and you win in-game rewards plus blueprints for a common car. Once you have built your common car, then you're able to actually enter into common, uncommon, and all those rarity events, the higher tier events.
Right.
In the higher tier events, you can actually earn, when you win, and you can earn Nitro. And Nitro is essentially what would be required to build robots as well. So either you could, if you have Nitro, you've purchased some, then for sure. But otherwise, you need to just kind of collect the blueprints, collect the resources to actually build this robot, and you can get a hands on them. So whether you're a free player or not, you can get your hands on a robot. How long it takes depends on what route you take.
Yeah. Well, that's again, we touched on that in one of our other videos as well, but it's really important to just really reiterate it. Free-to-play mode gives you the opportunity to still earn and unlock rewards. And with those rewards, you'll end up accruing enough blueprints so you can mint your own car. And you get your own car, which will be worth value and can be resold in the market. But then also, the more you race and you build, so this is all your your reputation and your XP, you've got that. And then the more you build that up, the more rewards you unlock, multiplied. It's multiplied, reward multipliers there, unlocking additional benefits. And then you can have all of this. So there's an advantage to, buying a car and paying for your upgrades gets you there faster. It's like my mom and dad used to tell me, you go to college and you have to pay for it, but you might end up getting a better salary in the future when you're out of it. But the people who don't have to grind and hustle until they get there. And sometimes they end up making more money than you out of college anyway. So it just depends on that. So yeah, absolutely. And I love the Pit Pals. They're super cool. I'll get the photo up, but they end up supporting you in the game, and they'll help and support you and you get an advantage and more of an advantage and more likelihood of you winning a race and your class race. So
and one more thing, I guess, to just add to this is we've been talking about all these assets, and I think we've talked about it in the past as well. So we have Pit Pals, we have cars, we have upgrades, which are the car components, driver accessories, drivers. We have all these things.
Well, explain them to the audience. We were assuming everyone's listened to our interviews in our fireside. So let's go through them. What are the upgrades for the cars that we would find? And then what are the accessories there as well? And let's talk about the drivers too.
Yeah. So to start off with, I guess there's different kind of events in the game. So there is different rarity of events: free events, common, uncommon, rare, special, and legendary. Why cars are so significant in the entire ecosystem is because in order to enter these rarity events, you need the same rarity cars. So for example, if you want to actually enter a rare event, which will give you more rewards than a common event and will have less competition because less people will have rare cars, you will have to own a rare car. So that being said, car then becomes your kind of like entry ticket. You can say that if you own this car, then you can enter these category of these rarity events. So that's the most important part in the entire game, the car. You need to have, probably you want to have different rarities of cars so you can actually have different kind of races taking place. Then the next thing that comes into play is the three main things are driver, car parts, and driver accessories. Mm-hmm. So drivers, essentially, they obviously enhance your racing performance. All of these three do. Drivers enhance quite a bit more than car parts or driver accessories. And then car parts essentially enhance the attributes of the car, which attributes of a car are normally speed, acceleration, handling, durability, and reputation. And if you add on, for example, spoilers, then it gives you more speed plus more jump bonus and booster strip bonus. Similarly with tires, you get better handling in the car, as well as acceleration and stuff like that. When it comes to driver accessories, similar to car components, the driver accessories actually enhance the attributes of the driver. Driver attributes are confidence, risk-taking, mood, which can fluctuate. So, a driver could be randomly in a bad mood or a good mood, just like real life.
What if I'm an insecure driver who didn't have my coffee in the morning and it's raining outside? What do you recommend for that race? what accessories do I need to get me going to win?
You need to craft a lot of coffee for him. Yeah.
A triple shot, triple espresso shot. Yeah. No, sorry, definitely. Go on. Yeah.
He needs to have one of those cars that actually pours in coffees and stuff.
Yeah, and a drip through his helmet, right? We just get it through
cool,
that'll be cool. Yeah. Just give me
just like the beer hat stuff, that.
Insulin, just get it right through. I'm all right. That'll be good. Yeah, so absolutely. So you've got the components. So you've got the car. I mean, people are familiar with cars in IRL, in the real world. We've got spoilers, rims, tires, boosters. We've seen them on the street. We've watched Fast and Furious. We've got an idea of what that would do to accelerate it. So yeah, you get the idea when you're racing. But when you're talking about the driver, this is what's interesting here, because this is another component that you've added on, another layer. And you were talking about in the beginning of this session about adding some complexities there, because a lover of a game, and I mean, we love playing. Okay, so as we play, you need entry. You need to be engaged. You need something engaging enough. It's nice to push a button and watch something race for you, but there's got to be a lot more than that to keep you wanting to play outside of that core loop of the earning and the benefits and the missions, etc. You've added these layers, and I wouldn't want to say you've made it more dynamic in that respect. I'd rather say that than complexity, because it's not complex. It's actually another layer and another component to consider for you when you are racing. And it's not so far-fetched, because you might have a racer. Have you ever watched Ferrari versus Ford? Or Ford versus Ferrari?
No, I haven't actually.
You've got to watch that. You've absolutely got to watch that. Cool. It's really good. So, I mean, you see different attitudes of the racers and the way they behave. And it absolutely has everything to do with their mental state at that point. And when they're racing, their focus, their mood, where they are, the weather makes them anxious or it makes them calm. And you've got to really set your mind on where you want to go. You've got to watch it. It's really good. But that's something that you've already considered without watching that movie. You've already considered that. So tell us about the accessories for the drivers. How does that add to it? What does it do? And what are the benefits of getting those accessories for the drivers?
Yeah, so I know it's a fantasy game, but we did try to take as much from the real world that people can relate to as possible. So we have gloves, boots, suits, like the whole jumpsuits.
They're awesome.
And helmet. Yeah, and the helmets basically. Right? So these are the four main driver components that we're coming up with at first, and they do provide advantages similar to the real world. So if you're wearing a helmet, then your driver will feel safer and he will take more risks. If you're wearing a helmet with some aid, like visual aid and stuff like that, then he would also be able to handle better. He'd be more confident in handling the car better, because the visual kind of meters and stuff will be showing him, okay, slow down here or go fast here, or whatever that is. Similarly with the suits, if you're wearing them, it's just a lot of mood, confidence. These things can be enhanced. Mood is I'm kind of mentioning mood again and again because it's a fluctuating characteristic. So some people are really strong with their personalities, very confident, and they stay in a kind of stable mood most of the time. That's how it's going to be. So drivers that have inherently better score for mood will be mostly inspired and in a good mood when the race time comes. There is a slight chance that they might be angry sometimes, and that'll affect their race results. But most of the time they'll be in a better condition to race. Whereas drivers that have all these good attributes, but their mood is like really bad all the time, and they're not as mature, for example, as racers. Um, a lot of the times when they enter the race, they might be fearful, or they might be angry,
or anxious.
they might not,
yeah,
or anxious. Yes, and that's how it's going to work. So to enhance your driver's mood, and that's where it ties up into the metaverse. That when the metaverse launches, you can actually take your driver on to a spa or any relaxation activity.
Take me.
And yeah. You have to be a driver then. Get into the metaverse.
Driver spa. Yeah.
And then once you're there, then it'll give you kind of like a temporary mood enhancement bonus. So when you go into the races, you're sure that your mood, the driver will be in a good mood.
You're taking care of them. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, I find that sometimes angry drivers, I remember coaches in the Olympics, some of them get them really hyped up and get them angry toward their competing country, etc., to get them angry. So they're just focused on them. So maybe angry can speed them up and they perform and they're accelerating sometimes, maybe, perhaps.
Yeah. And angry is so there's things that are associated with it too, right? So if you're angry, then yes, you might drive fast, you might take more risks, but self-destruction risk is also greater because you're angry.
Absolutely. So, no, for sure.
See,
it's super interesting.
Put in there, yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, the numbers were crazy. It took a long time for the team. Yeah, she did computer simulations to kind of get the results and tweak them over and over again to make sure everything is balanced and everything is working. But we're at a pretty good stage now. Once the game launches and the full launch, we'll have a lot more data to actually make the game more balanced and more interesting for our players.
On November 15th. Yep.
Yeah.
It's launching November 15th. Right. So now let's talk about economy. We've got about 10 more minutes. We'll go through a little bit of it, and then I'll have a few quick questions for you in the back, lightning round in the end. But talk to me a little bit about the economy. Let's talk about earning and the multiple ways to earn. We talked about free to play now. We went through free to play mode. Let's talk about play to own, win to own. Let's go through that. Tell me more there.
Sure. So I think I'll just kind of comment on the key economy items here. So first one is obviously the Nitro token, which is our governance token. Mm-hmm. It is not kind of handed out in the game as much. It is reserved for, again, win to earn kind of players, people that come in and play and they are able to actually win the races. They actually can earn Nitro. Nitro will then, there is some Nitro that's given out outside of the racing as well to kind of randomly for different activities in the game to those participants. But majority of the Nitro is given out as race rewards. So that's one. And the Nitro is then used primarily the main thing that it's used for is to craft items. So there's a very small kind of gas fees that you have to pay to craft items. Mm-hmm. And that essentially is in Nitro. So you need to have Nitro for that, for sure. So people probably want to collect as much Nitro from the game as possible. So they can mint as many assets as they want. The advantage, so our technology team, kudos to them, they came up with some awesome solutions. And one of the things that they came up with was not only can you actually mint your cars or upgrades from the game, you can also actually choose the chain you want to mint it on. So initially, we're going with Ethereum, Polygon, and Binance, I believe. And then later on, we will try to add as many chains as possible, so people have the freedom to mint their assets on their desired chain.
Multi-chain, absolutely. Multi-chain and have it available. But right now we've got it on ETH and Polygon, rightfully so, as it sits there. So right, and then when you were touching on that, so we spoke about win to own. What about pay? What is it? No, a play to win. Play to win. I'm saying there's so many terms out there, but we've got the nice terms. We've got free to play, we've got play to win, and win to own. Your alarm's gone off, or the Pied
Sorry.
Piper's coming. The Pied Piper's coming in.
I'm sorry about that. I'll just turn that off.
That's fine. That's fine. So tell us, we touched about when to own, right? Now, what about play to win?
So play to win essentially means that somebody can come into the game, play the game, and play to earn, I guess. Is that you can play to win is every game, right? You play the game and then you can win. Right? Play to earn is a model that dictates that you can actually play the game, and whether you win or lose, you will be able to make money or some kind of, you will be able to cash out somehow at the end of it. So play to earn is not a model that we're following. We're following win to earn, which means that you can actually win. You can play the game, and once you start winning, that's when you can actually earn the Nitro tokens. Before that, you'll still be earning in-game currencies, which like credits is one of the main in-game currencies, which is only rewarded in the game. It cannot be purchased from anywhere else or traded or anything. So it's a pretty good indicator of how much you have played the game and how well you have played the game.
Yeah.
And that's why credits is used to actually in a lot of things, to even crafting. You need some credits and the blueprints of whatever item you're trying to make. So credits is used as kind of a checkpoint that people are actually playing the game and not just kind of buying something and winning. So as long as you're playing the game and you perform average, you should be able to earn some in-game resources enough that you can then buy power-ups and other items from in-game to then win the race. Once you start winning, then yes, you can earn for sure.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And now we're talking, so that we've touched on a lot of the game. We've talked about the pit pals and the drivers, and the pit pals will be available. Well, let's just clarify. I mean, we went through the roadmap, but let's just be clear right now. We've got Nitro Arcade that's launching on November 15th, and that is a mobile simulated racing game, right?
Yeah.
And then we will have the launch of our metaverse coming out shortly after. And then not too soon after, but soon enough after that, we'll have the full 3D game, multiplayer game coming out, right? Which was really... I mean, that was the initial bit that was on our roadmap. So the metaverse and the land and the arcade was not on our roadmap. So it's been super crazy trying to extract from the multiplayer game and putting it into the arcade game, and then also working on the economy for the metaverse. You've been deep in the woods of that, as have we all, but you've been lost in a lot of that, and helping develop a lot of it, working with the rest of the team to help that get that ready. But we've actually put a lot more work on us as a team, and it's been grueling, but it's been exciting at the same time. So tell me.
Yeah. So I think one thing that helped was we have like different streams, like different teams. So we got a team working on metaverse. We have a team that's working on the skill-based 3D game that's going to be early next year. And again, for Nitro Arcade, there's still a team that's actually working on that exclusively. So that kind of helped us kind of move in all directions at the same time.
Yeah.
Rather than halting anything. So that was kind of good.
No, it was beautiful. We've got our tribes, but then the tribes are talking to one another, and we're building from that. So that was excellent. So talk to me about the arcade and tell me, what do you think about, what are the differences between the arcade and the multiplayer game? A lot of our audience and our community are aware of it because we talk about it with them all the time. But if someone was listening today, someone new coming into this space who wants to learn more about Nitro League, what would you say is the biggest differentiator in comparison from Nitro Arcade to Nitro League, the full game?
Sure. I guess the biggest difference is that Nitro Arcade is a racing simulation game, which means that it's a motorsport management game. You actually are kind of like a coach or a team manager who is now collecting cars, collecting drivers, collecting upgrades. You're studying what kind of tracks are out there. how many jumps tracks have, how many booster strips they have, what kind of weather usually is in different regions and events. And then you're kind of joining the events that best suit your cars, right? So it's more of a management game rather than trying to actually drive the car yourself. I think there's a lot of demand for. There's a lot of users that actually demand this kind of gameplay as well. Which is kind of evident by if you go to Play Store and stuff, you'll actually write motorsport management. There's a lot of games that come up, and there's a lot of users that are playing that. So that's the kind of audience that we're catering to first. What that does is actually make the game very strategic. Like if you have to actually make the right decisions for yourself. Like the blueprints you're getting, sometimes you might not want to make all those parts or cars that you're getting blueprints for. You have to be probably choosy that, okay, this is how many credits I have, and this is how many this is how much XP I have, and these are the kind of events I want to join. So these are the 3-4 things that I want to build first. So these are the kind of decisions that users will be kind of faced with more or so in the Nitro Arcade game.
Okay.
And obviously, the better decisions they make, the better results will be there and better rewards. As far as the other one, the 3D skill-based racing is concerned, that's more like Need for Speed or Asphalt in multiplayer. So what you would be doing is you'd be just going to race. There'll be a matchmaking taking place based on reputation points of players. You'll be joined with similar skilled players, and then you actually have to drive the car, right?
Yeah.
So yes,
Super
that
fun.
factor. Yeah, so that factor of choosing the right car and in the right weather and the right track conditions will still be there, but the major part will be how you drive the car, so you don't bump into an obstacle, you drift properly, you take the right booster strips, you take the jumps. That would matter a lot in the 3D skill racer, because a car that might not be that souped up might still win if the driver drove very well and all the other drivers sucked that day.
Absolutely. Didn't have their coffee. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So really, a simulated race still sounds like a lot of fun because it's a mobile sport game, motorsport game. Sorry, I keep saying mobile. Motorsport game. And then you're preparing everything and you're watching what happens. It's not too dissimilar to people who are building an F1 car and they get the driver and then they go and watch and see how it performs and what it does. It's not too far from that.
Yeah.
And then the same thing would be for horse racing. I mean, we've seen a lot of other games in this space like Zedrun, etc., or Pegaxi, and it's a simulated race. You talk about breeding of the horses, and then they get their own attributes and assets, and then you can upgrade those, and then you watch them race and see what happens. So that's not too dissimilar with what's happening in this space right now. But the exciting bit, I mean, and again, it's about what's your cup of tea, right? Some people may enjoy setting it all up and watching it go. So Nitro Arcade is definitely advantageous and fun for a lot of people, especially those who are trying to learn more about it, because you get a real taste into what the environment looks like and what racing will be like, what our cars are like. You get a feel for it. And then, next year you'll get to see what the game is like and how good or how crappy you are in driving, because it's going to be based on you.
For sure. So my kind of guess or kind of future forecast is that there will be a lot of people that are good in the motorsport management one will essentially become managers of good drivers in the game as well. So not everybody, if you play, like I play a lot of games, and Dota is one, Asphalt is one. I'm not the best game player. I design the games, but I'm not. Even in this game, I won't be the best player. Right? So, but the thing is it's a skill, right? So some people are just naturally good at playing games, and other people are naturally good at looking at stats and figuring out all these numbers, some loopholes perhaps, to make sure they get to this. So my anticipation is that probably what will happen is there's going to be good drivers that will then be getting help from good managers, and they will be kind of working together to win races and tournaments, perhaps as a team or even as friends or individuals, whatever it is. But they will be kind of cooperating together, where the driver, just like real world, you have a good driver and then you have like this whole team behind it that does all sorts of different things. So that's how we want this metaverse to kind of operate. That, you can be a great driver.
Yeah, we're going to have to give that, you're absolutely right. And I do see that because a lot of people are going to see if they've got a taste for it in Nitro Arcade more than they will when the game comes out. And then they'll want to still do the same thing when the full game comes out. So we'll probably have to try and find a role. Maybe we find a role for that within the metaverse and within the game for motorsports leaders, and how they'll end up coaching some of the clans or the tribes and setting it all up. That might be cool.
Yeah.
Have a think of that. Cool. I think we've covered everything. We've discussed a lot of what's happening with Arcade, what you've been doing with Arcade, and what you've been doing with the multiplayer game, and what's happening here, where we started from inception to where we are now. I say we're on track and we've done a hell of a lot more, which is really exciting. Super proud of the whole team and what we've accomplished. And it's been fantastic. So I've got really hard pressing questions for you right now before I wrap this all up. So bear with me as I ask you, what is your favorite game? What's your favorite junk food? And what is a movie you are embarrassed to confess that you actually love?
So my favorite game is a really odd one. It's Monkey Island. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah. It's good.
So I think since I've kind of gotten in front of a computer, there was Monkey Island 1 DOS based, and recently there's been 3D ones coming out, and Nintendo Switch just launched one. So that's definitely one of the favorite games.
That's awesome. I love it. Okay. Favorite junk food?
Oh, junk food. I kind of try to stay away from junk food, but I think Nutella would be it. Oh,
Nutella. You were when the team had come out for one of our sessions. It wasn't you. It was the rest of the team who was on the Coca-Cola and the chips and the junk food. Am I right, or was it you? And the chocolate.
No, I was the one that finished the Nutella jar.
Yeah, that was it was me. Okay, okay, it was you. I'll let them know. And favorite secret movie that you love.
Secret movie.
Just between you and me. No one's listening now. Do you secretly like a princess movie or something? It's it's one of those movies that you really love.
Yeah, I secretly love City of Angels.
Oh, that's a beautiful film. Yeah. Oh, that's a little one that pulls on the heartstrings. Yeah, that's a sensitive movie. It's a beautiful one.
But if anybody's listening to this, then I like James Bond, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Again, no one else heard that. Just you and me. Just you and me. Yeah. Super cool. Irfan, thank you so much for joining us today. It was always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Us? Who's us? Who's sitting with you?
Oh, you don't know? I'm a bunch of people, actually.
We'll talk about that later. No, seriously, super cool. Very excited. Always a pleasure working with you and having these chats with you. So thank you for joining us. And we'll catch up later in a few meetings as we prepare for launch on November 15th.
Definitely. Thanks so much, Zen. It was always great to see your smiling face.
Thanks. You're smiling too much. So guys, thank you for joining us today. Like I said, we've got lots of interviews coming up. Come and check them out and go and follow our pages to learn more on Discord, on Twitter, and on our Telegram group so you can find out what's going on with the game. If you have any other questions, we're always online. You can chat with the community and chat with us, but also watch our videos on YouTube and check out what we're doing. Learn more about the FAQs and how to play the game. Irfan's been helping us out with breaking down that logic on how to play, how to earn, and how to do your best in the game. So please go and check those out as well. And then stay tuned for November 15th where you get to race the game. I'll see you guys. Thanks a lot. And I'll see you on the tracks. Hey guys, Zainab here, your chief driver at Nitro League. Super excited today. We've got none other than Besma Anwar joining us. She's our game producer for Nitro League Arcade. We're going to talk to her about her background, who she is, what she's doing, what she likes to eat, what cartoons she likes to watch, and obviously Nitro League Arcade, which is coming out November 15th. So without further ado, Besma, thanks for joining us today.
Hello.
How are you doing? Thank you.
I'm good.
Good, cool. So, Besma, before we go and talk about Nitro League Arcade and games and your background, well, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about what you've been doing in this space and how you got into Nitro League Arcade.
Yeah, so it's been around. I've been a gamer from the start. I used to play a lot of games, even though, I have done electrical engineering with computer sciences, but still I got pretty much involved in gaming. And then after I did my bachelor's, I was like, you know what, let's just, I tried out for a few gaming studios where I'm based. And then I got into frag games, and then basically the best part for me was, just seeing how the game development and how the life cycle works, not just from, you could say, the engineering perspective, actually creating a whole experience for people. Nice. Because I really love games myself, and the thing about games that attracts me is the experience that they give to you and the story that they leave.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I love it. So I always tell everybody that we are gamers, and everybody who comes into the Nitro League space is a gamer. So you are the proof in the pudding, Guys, listen, I'm telling you, we're all gamers. We all love the game. What did you play, Besma? So what are your favorite games?
Right now, honestly, I'm really waiting for God of War Ragnarok.
That's my favorite. Sorry, that was a little too loud. I love it, yeah.
So other than that, the recent game that I've just been playing is Cult of the Lamb. I recently just finished it, and now I've just started with Death's Door. Okay. It's a very cool game. It's basically an isometric view 3D style game. And you're basically a reaper, and you have a couple of missions. You have to reap souls, and then you get to bring them back.
Oh, awesome. So not too far off with some of the game mechanics and what we're designing for the game, right? For Nitro League in some way. Yeah,
I've played a lot of racing games as well. Like I started with Need for Speed, and a lot of the parts of Need for Speed. I've also, just downloaded yesterday NFS Heat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I think most of the team are playing NFS Heat.
They're playing NFS Heat, and they're playing Asphalt a lot as well.
Yeah, Irfan has been lauding NFS Heat and telling us that we have to play that from the get-go, actually, from the beginning. Because I play it on my PlayStation, but I haven't played it on the mobile app. Don't tell him yet. Don't tell him yet. But yeah, absolutely. And Grand Theft Auto. So all of these car games. So would you say that you're more into the car racing games, or are you into the explorative? Because for me, God of War is not just about the battles and beating the bosses, because it's just a beautiful, beautiful game. You want to explore as much as you want to go through and kick some gods' butts, Absolutely. So, yeah.
So for me, usually it's like the storyline. For example, the major game that I think is above all in this, it's the God of War series and Last of Us, the first part. Mm-hmm. I really love the narrative building in it. that I really like narrative-based games and a story or lore that connects. Just like Nitro has a very rich lore at the moment, but obviously we'll be unfolding it as we go and as we release more and more and unveil more and more products of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got another video that we're going to have released on the lore. Right. So then, Besma, so that's your background. That's what you've been doing these last few years, and your love of the gaming. So how did you get into Nitro Arcade?
Well, basically, when I was brought in, when I came to Nitro, we were originally making the 3D game, but obviously we had to get something out in the market, a basic, you could say, a basic experience that is that could be accelerated and then connected to the 3D game that we're making. So that's how basically the Nitro Arcade came there. And it was supposed to be, you could say, a bite-sized mini experience of what is yet to come in the 3D skill-based racing and then the 3D simulation that's going to go out.
Yeah, but as many as we projected it to be, we wanted more because we wanted more. It's not just for the audience; it's for us because again, it's the love of the game. But all of us were absolutely keen on making it beautiful, and that was part of what you had done, Besma. You and the team had come together and brought in a lot of the elements from the 3D race that we're building. That's coming out in Q1 to blend it in with the arcade. So now it's looking pretty good. I gotta say, it's looking pretty good. I'm loving it. I'm loving it right now. So we were talking about, you touched on the roadmap and what we had done with the roadmap. Tell me about some of the challenges that you had gone through while we were working on the Nitro Arcade.
So I think the major thing was just getting all of that big skill-based experience, you could say a bite-sized, so that it would be available to every user. And just getting all of that skill-based into one arcade that could, then the users could casually play. Because we were targeting users that were not, you could say, that were not hardcore gamers, that were just casual gamers, or just new people to the gaming, you could say, to the gaming environment. So we could give a crisp experience to those people as well. And for that, I think we went back and forth. We actually showed the initial builds and the initial concepts to a lot of people who weren't very keen gamers. So that was one of the major challenges, getting feedback and consolidating it and then, further enhancing it.
It's good regardless. So we did I remember back in March, we did the release of the garage, and then we did, that was a beta testing of the garage with certain testers and got their feedback, which was awesome. So a lot of the feedback would have been like, it was a little too dark for navigating. They were trying to enter little hiccups, but again, it's the user experience and the journey that's important. So we look at it as gamers, but we also want to onboard a lot of people that may not be so familiar with the gaming space, but are keen to join. And we want to welcome them and make it easy. So there's absolutely a user flow that needs to be considered there. I couldn't agree more. And it's a really great taste tester. It's a great taste tester for everyone who wants to join the multiplayer game to be able to engage in the arcade. Because I think I'm pretty sure most of the mechanics and the process is going to be the same. We're not changing too much of it, except for the multiplayer. We'll have some additional tournaments that are going to take place. Am I right?
Yes, some additional tournaments, and also like in the arcade, it still is kind of multiplayer because different people come in and register for a race. Mm-hmm. And then what happens in the arcade is then it's basically a motorsport management game right now. So what happens is you basically have your cars, your car parts, your driver components, and the power cards that you actually have in the game. So essentially you pick and choose between them according to how the, you could see the track is and what weather it is. And on that, based on you could say how keenly you select those, you can obviously make your way up to the leaderboard. And once that race gets, simulated from our end, you can actually view it as well.
Excellent. Yeah, no, absolutely. But when you're looking at the multiplayer, what we have coming for the multiplayer is a lot more detail in the 3D experience and a lot more of an immersiveness in that respect. So that is, again, referring back to like God of War, you are going to be interacting a whole lot more in the multiplayer race, and you'll be able to control your maneuvers and how you're racing. So that's a big thing there.
It's going to be a very crisp 3D environment, and you can see and control your own car, and you can race against other players, be it 12 or 16 of you cars are going to be in a match, and you're just going to be glued on your phone and you're going to be racing. That's basically,
Can't wait. See, we're going to start with the multiplayer racing, and then in our future iterations, we're going to start with the clans and tribes, which is part of the lore already from the original concept. So
first starting, we'll give basically the skill-based experience for one player. They can even race against the clock. And we can have a mission system in there as well. And then we'll introduce the whole multiplayer aspect, which players can race against each other. They can, again, race against other players and much more.
Awesome. So let me ask you, Miss Game Producer, what are your thoughts on the free-to-play? Like, if I were not competing with a lot of other people, or if I didn't have the NFT assets like some other people had in the game, had their own cars and accessories, etc. What is the big differentiator there for? I mean, obviously their earning won't be the same, but what would be the experience for a free-to-play player, and why did you design it that way?
So I think a free-to-play player, we're actually trying to give the concept of play to own, because this asset, whether you're a collector or you want to use it in the game, it's something that you own. Just like, it's something that's gonna benefit you for the sake of your aesthetics in your NFT account, or it's gonna be in the game and you can win races with it, you can win rewards with it. When you're actually a free player, the first thing you get is a free car, a free driver, and some fuel to go into races and participate in events. And essentially, for a free-to-play person, what happens is you either have to grind in the game and earn blueprints from which you can then mint your own NFT. But obviously, if you're buying a car or a driver or components, that grinding is gonna, you're just gonna skip through the grinding.
Right.
That's what it's going to do.
Right.
But the chances of you winning obviously increase if you have more components attached to your car, and your cars or your driver stats will increase, which will obviously, the probability of you winning is greater. Although we did have quite a lot of, events like free minting and all that published on the website. So I think people will be able to even get their own assets at quite a lesser price if they can.
Awesome. So, I mean, again, we're not putting cars out in the market now. It'll be provided during promotions or in the secondary market if someone wants to resell their car. So the fact that someone who is coming in as a free-to-play player can actually unlock their loot box in their garage, because they still get a garage regardless.
Yes, exactly.
Free, no rent, guys. You don't have to pay rent for a garage. You can have it. You can hang out in there. But you get your own garage and you get your loot box and you get to unlock it. And like you said, blueprints. And I mean, a lot of this terminology is going through, until people start playing. But we've got some videos.
Blueprints, you can consider it's just like a recipe or a building block. What you have to do, essentially, you can collect blueprints from your loot box, your daily rewards, or as rewards from races and events. What that's going to do is, when you have enough of those blueprints, we have this feature coming up. What happens is, when you collect enough of those blueprints, you can go to our claims portal and you can mint that asset. So that means you just get an NFT if you grind enough.
Did you hear that, guys? You get a free NFT if you collect all of the blueprints and you build them up, and then you can go and mint them. You heard it from our game producer. You heard it from Besma, not just from me. I'm not talking baloney. It's true. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah. So that's basically it. It's just that if you're a free player, obviously you're going to have to work for it.
Yeah.
Because then what's the distinction between someone who's paying for a car and because there should be a bit of grinding, no?
Absolutely. Besma, but that's the whole point. We're racing, right? So I got to grind to go and kick someone else's butt on the racetrack so I can earn some more. Absolutely. So there's grinding to be able to earn those blueprints and the unlock multiple rewards. But then at the same time, the more that I put in, I can unlock reward multipliers as well. So lots of benefits and perks. But the what you said in the beginning is the beautiful part, and something that I'm proud of, as part of the team that's building all of this, is that it's play to own. You get the potential to play with no cost to you, and then you have the potential to be able to own an NFT in the future, resell it in the marketplace. You'll be earning through that NFT, etc. Yes. It's pretty badass if you ask me. You know what I mean? Yes. Especially as we're coming into this concept. A lot of people moving, a lot of games that started with their initial play to earn are finding different ways for people to play without it burdening them on costs, etc. And I think as a team, we've come up with something pretty good there that's going to benefit everybody. So it's a play to win, play to own, win to own, all of that, all combined. We've got to come up with a word for all those things, Besma. Let's talk later. It's too many of those. Let's come up with a good word for it, and then we can just trademark it and start putting it out in the market. So that'll be good. All right, so tell me now, we talked about challenges, talked about you. Tell me what you love about the game. What do you love about the game? And then tell me what you love and see what's the potential you see out there for Nitro Arcade in the near future.
So I honestly think it's a great game, especially when you start getting into the lore part as well. For, you could say, the purely game mechanics and everything side, I think the racing is going to be terrific, especially when we launch it in 3D. Even like I've currently seen glimpses of the same arcade in 3D as well. It's looking great. It's looking great. And once we actually shift from the arcade to the skill-based racing, it's gonna be even, edge of your seat, just glued on your phone kind of stuff, because you will have a greater degree of control, and then you can just navigate, you can win races and get more rewards. It'll be more engaging for the user.
Absolutely. So you're excited about the game coming out, yeah? Is that what I'm getting? I think you're a little excited about the game. Okay, cool. Got it. All right, so Besma, I'll wrap it up here, but before I close it off, give me 3 things really quickly. Favorite cartoon, favorite junk food, favorite movie.
Okay, so favorite cartoon, I think... I'm not sure though. It's pretty old school. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Yeah, yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So, and favorite junk food, I think it's gonna have to be pizza.
Oh yeah. No, that's good.
Cheese pizza, nothing more, nothing less, just cheese pizza.
Keep it classic. Absolutely. Yes. I'm from New York. We love our pizza. Absolutely. Yeah. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie, I think if I had to come up with one on the top of my head, it would be Silence of the Lambs.
Ooh, heavy girl. Yeah. Heavy girl. We were touching on Raven. We were talking about Raven earlier. A little bit of Raven and a little bit of unicorns as well. Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us, Besma. Really proud to have you as a part of the team. Most especially as us chicks in this environment, working with gaming and boys and development. It's pretty awesome. Love having you on board, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, guys, Thanks for joining us today. Stay tuned for a lot more of our videos. We'll be talking about FAQs and how to play around in the game. You'll be meeting a lot more people from the game. You've got to learn about the lore because that's the most badass thing other than the game, about Nitro League and Nitro Arcade. So stay tuned and thanks for joining. Talk to you soon. See you on the tracks. Hey guys, Zainab here, your chief driver at Nitro League. Today is live day. Our game's going live. You guys are going to be out on the tracks. Check out all of our videos that are on YouTube so you can learn how to race, how to connect your wallet, what to do with your cars, and how to try and beat me on the tracks if you can. Really excited today. We've got Berwin Tanko, CEO of ECTA, joining us, and he's going to talk to us today about ECTA and its new ecosystem. So you've got a lot that's going on, Berwin. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having me here.
Cool. So, Berwin, before we even start and talk about ECTA, I want to hear about you. Tell us a little bit more about you, your background. You know, where are you? Where do you travel to? What do you love to eat? And of course, a little bit about your career.
Where am I? I'm actually in Bali, so I can't complain. I just had lunch. I had some Thai food for lunch. Pretty strange
Beautiful.
to say that being in Bali, I didn't have Indonesian food, but they have a lot of lovely cuisines here. So I just order, from this app called Gojek, and they just bring me food every 6 hours, and I never leave the house. Basically, we just work here in the villa.
Just keep feeding me. Wonderful.
That's exactly what I do. But yeah, I mean, a little background about myself. I started off in Web 1 in the 90s. I had a software payment platform that we were able to list in the NASDAQ. A bigger consulting company purchased us and paid us in shares. And so I was able to exit that. And throughout 2000 till present day, I've been in property development, funny enough. And the reason why I got into blockchain and ECTA is because there was the pandemic 2 years ago. The world shut down, so I had to close my hotels and stop my property developments. And so I had a lot of time to read white papers, and I read through a lot of things on Web3 and how to tokenize real-world assets and properties. And so, ECTA is basically was born during the pandemic. ECTA stands for Unity and Integrity, and what ECTA is trying to do is to bridge Web3 to the physical world. So we're trying to unite blockchain to the real world. And one of the main things we do is to bridge real world assets into the blockchain. We are a layer 1 blockchain. We've been live since December last year. We're listed in 4 exchanges. We have a bridge, a scan. We have an NFT marketplace coming up, showcasing a lot of NFT collections about the real world. The most exciting thing we have coming up is actually our real estate marketplace. We're going to make real estate really liquid and available to the masses and solve a lot of real world problems for developers and for smaller investors that wants to get into this space. What else do we have? We have a metaverse game coming up as well. This is going to be fun. We can talk about it a little bit more when we talk about Nitro League. It's called MetaTree. So we also bridge blockchain to the metaverse, to the real world, by planting trees, saving the environment in the metaverse, and doing the same thing in the real world. And you can see all of this in our world's first degen island called ECTA Island.
Well, hold on. You're telling me everything. I didn't get to ask anything yet. I'm like scribbling everything down. Like, wait a minute. I want to hear more about each thing.
Yeah, let's break it down.
It's awesome because you can totally see there's a lot happening there. You took full advantage of the pandemic obviously, and you found something and you went with it. And that's if I'm honest with you, a lot of people, a lot of hustlers, okay, a lot of entrepreneurs and adventurers are delving in or delved into this space during the pandemic because you've got a bug in you. That's the way I interpret it. It's like, I got to do something. I got to do something. I can't sit here. I want to do something more. And you've just gone in, and I always call it uncharted waters. We don't even know if it is water. And you delved in the dark, and then you found something, and you built something, and now you're spreading your roots, which is awesome. So I'm going to stop you there so I can ask some more questions. Let me hear a little bit more about it. But so you've given us an idea of what ECTA is. I'd love, you said real world and blockchain. Let's just do it in crayon. Let's just try and use some crayons and interpret what that means for everybody. Tell me what real world and blockchain would mean and what you're doing with that.
Okay, an example would be our island. So everything you see in our layer 1 ecosystem, we have a mirror of that. So our layer 1 ecosystem in our metaverse will have a mirror image of it on ECTA Island. We're going to have protocols building real buildings and real world assets on our island. We have communities, NFT communities, also building things on our island. We'll have a blockchain school. And in the blockchain school, of course, we'll have the incubator and the accelerator, because the schools will produce unicorns, future unicorns that incubators and accelerators would love to help. There'll be whales in there, so we have the whale club. We have the metaverse game where we plant trees in the virtual world, and we also plant trees in the real world, offset carbon credits, and plant trees and preserve trees in rainforests in countries like Brazil, a place in Indonesia called Borneo, Belize, and Suriname, for example.
Beautiful, beautiful. So that's awesome. So now you're doing something and giving back at the same time, which is wonderful. It's a beautiful balance. Where we had Web 1, a lot of Web 1, and I mean, we as humans have evolved from Web 1 to Web 3, and technology has evolved at the same time. So we've embraced it. If you look in retrospect, we've really embraced technology and humanity, and we are not as afraid of it as one of my old bosses used to call it, the dark arts. All this technology, I don't know what's happening, how do I tap, etc. You've embraced it, you've brought it on, and now we come into the world of Web 3, which is still Web 2.9.9 really, because we're not in Web 3 yet. We're delving into it, and immediately while we do this, we're looking at giving back. And this is something ECTA's doing, you're doing, which is beautiful. I'm a massive philanthropist. That's my go-to, my number one, the majority of the time. So you're leading and you're innovating, but you're also looking at giving back. So you do have something tangible there. You're providing something tangible that can benefit in the real world, and that can also benefit in the metaverse. I really love that. So you mentioned your island, and now you were talking about your background in real estate and your island. So from someone who has worked in the real estate world, and you're coming into the metaverse, could you tell me what are the differences there? What are you doing there? I mean, there must be a few things in the real world, IRL, that is frustrating for you as someone in real estate and development, and then going into development of real estate, into the metaverse. What are the differentiators there? What excites you and what ticks you?
That's a really good question. To tell you honestly, there's 4 major problems that real estate has currently in real life. Number 1 is it's highly illiquid. Number 2, if you want to purchase a property, you're only limited to what you have in your bank account. Number 3, it's stuck to its geolocation, so it's geographic specific. And number 4, it's industry specific, meaning you can, there's property related to hospitality to residential living, shopping centers, commercial spaces, industrial land, parking spaces, farming, whatever. So what I found out with Web3 and the metaverse is we can take that all away. We can disrupt this old archaic system and make it more frictionless, more liquid, easier, more trustworthy. Because real estate has a lot of like problems and scams and naughty things that you don't see between government departments and banks and whatnot. Like we were saying, from Web 1, Web 2 to Web 3, we're on Web 3. And what's the beautiful part about Web 3 is I like to see Web 1 as like read. You can just Netscape, for example, you can just read things. And then we move to Web 2 where we can actually read and write, like Facebook. And the nice thing about Web 3 is we can read, write, and trust. So everything you can see is on chain. So you can, actually purchase a property and trust it because it's on the chain and it's immutable. And okay, this is the size of the property, this is the price, the due diligence has been done, there's no legal problems with it. And you can just purchase it with like a click of a button, like click buy, click sell. And how amazing would that be one day? And what we're doing is we're trying to make it as cheap as like $200 of a fractional NFT to purchase a fractional property and start earning rental rewards from it. And this has never been done before. No, and on the flip side, the developer also will be really happy because then he can raise capital without going to the bank for leverage, and then he earns royalties for the rest of his life as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I'd be keen to hear on what your thoughts are with land sales and what people are doing with their own land. Like, have you seen what landowners are doing there and what they're doing and creating, and how are they engaging with their own land in the metaverse?
Yeah, it's very interesting. We're going to have our own metaverse. I've seen some real estate developers doing the same thing. My friend Hrish Lothikar, he owns Superworld app. I purchased some virtual land, exactly the same location as where we have our ECTA real estate developments. And, we want to develop a metaverse version, a metaverse twin of what we have in the real world. I think it can be really fun because especially for people that cannot travel or who are too busy or, maybe a pandemic, you can still be there in the metaverse. And it's really great, especially for events. You can, have an event and the space can fit 2,000 people. And all of a sudden you have the metaverse version of it and you can have another 100,000 people there. And it just unites the world and people closer to each other and communities.
Absolutely. No, I do love that. Right. We talked about ECTA, what you're doing with giving back and ECTA within the metaverse, but we were also, we haven't touched on what we're doing together. We're partners now. Mm-hmm. We're working together. I won't say what it is. I'd like you share the news and what we're doing. So we're partnering with you and we're building something exciting for you. Yeah, yes. I'm excited about it because we haven't done this yet. So you're the first partners we're doing this with. Absolutely excited to be doing that. So I'll leave it for you to make the announcement.
Yeah, so naturally again, ECTA. Basically, so ECTA, we have a robot PFP called OG, the Originals, and because they were the early supporters of ECTA, they have a whitelist to mint the Nitro League cars. And so once they fuse these two together, they can create an ECTA car.
Oh, isn't that awesome?
Yeah, that's just one of the things we're doing together.
Isn't that awesome? We're also building a racetrack on your island, if I'm correct.
Yes, exactly. We have a metaverse version of our island. So we're going to have a ring road, just like in Monaco or in Singapore. So you can race throughout the circuit throughout our development and have the ECTA cars there and, all the other cars there. And we can also do our own races. And it's in real life. it's not big enough for race cars in our circuit. So it's actually going to be electric scooters.
Oh,
But in the
awesome.
metaverse, it's going to be the awesome cars that you have.
But there you go. That's one of the perks. We were just talking about real estate and some of this friction. Now you can actually widen that road up and make it a 6-lane highway on in the metaverse and have multiple people racing. You can have loops. You can have tons of things going on there. But so I would definitely recommend putting one of those high jumps or a loop so you can have that on your road and replicate your road on the island. That's awesome. That's really awesome. I can't wait to see that. So we've got the cars that we'll be working on. Have you started looking at any of the car designs? Do you have any of our cars in particular that you like?
To tell you honestly, when this happened, I didn't want to. I really wanted to mint one of your cars, but I didn't want to interfere with our original holders, because I feel like if I'm doing that, then I'm like, I'm taking the space of one of the OGs. So I just let 100 of them whitelist and not include myself. So because I'm selfless.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. No, it's because I just wanna reward our loyal members of ECTA. So I told them I'm not minting anything. I let you guys mint, and then I'm just gonna join one of your teams.
Oh, awesome.
Which
That's
is more
wonderful.
fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. So we need to create an ECTA clan. And then we get you guys branding, and then you get to start racing on the tracks, and we'll be able to see your cars out there. That's awesome. I love that. And that's one of the beautiful things that you can do in this space as well, giving back to your own community and your am I Ectarians? Am I correct?
Ectarian, yeah.
Ectarian.
They were actually, we actually just had masterminds, ECTA masterminds and Yacht Fest. So a lot of the OGs flew into Bali, and then we went on the yacht and partied on ECTA Island, and we really connected and bonded with each other. So our community is really, really strong. We love each other, and yeah, so it's a community of sharing as well. So I was just like, you guys mint. Actually, we were on the island when the mint was happening. And then I said, you guys mint, and I'll just join your team.
Awesome. Okay. Well, good. Maybe I can come in and race with you guys in one of the tracks. I want to check it out. I want to come and race with you.
I don't think we'll be able to be as fast as you. I heard you're a wicked racer.
I've got I don't know if it's a bad or a good reputation in real life. I like speed. I like racing, and I'm actually learning to do some motocross now. So I want to do some
wow
bikes.
I want to be like you.
Yeah, my kids are wanting to join in, and I'm saying no, not yet. I'm scared for them, but I should probably be worried about me getting my neck braces and stuff for my kit for racing. But it's awesome. And I'm hoping to get 2 wheels on in the game in the coming year. So let's just get the game rocking and rolling, and then we'll start adding more cars. We have a hover car, right? And,
yeah, that's amazing.
Beautiful. The original name of that car was the Crusader. Our car designer is just fantastic. I love this way. I love what he does. It's just so beautiful.
My son is going to love to play this game.
All of us.
Yeah.
All of us. We're all excited in the studio. We can't. We want to play. We want to play. So where do you see the future and the potential of ECTA and Nitro in the coming years?
A lot of things. So apart from ECTA being, bridging blockchain to the physical world and all of that, we're actually a lifestyle chain. So we want to promote this kind of community and lifestyle together. So we're going to launch ECTA Music, Fashion, and Sports as well. So we're going to definitely have a sports division in ECTA next year. Kind of like we're going to start with NFT collections with different sports like segments, and racing is definitely one of them. And racing is like one of my favorite sports as well to watch. So definitely there's going to be a lot of synergies together.
Awesome. Are you coming out for the F1 in Abu
Dhabi? When is that? On November or?
Yeah, it's this month.
Yeah,
it's coming up.
Yeah. I might not be able to do that because I have 3 other events I need to attend around Southeast Asia. So
Okay.
I think I'm gonna miss that.
Next time, make sure, because it's the finale. The last race takes place in Abu Dhabi every year. So make
Did
sure
you see
you
the
come out
race
here
last
and
year?
you call me. You call me.
I will call you. Man,
You call me.
that race last year was insane with Verstappen and Hamilton.
Crazy. Well, I mean, it's. I mean, I love Hamilton. I'm all for Hamilton, but it's nice to see someone else who's made it out there and has been able to win. But to beat Hamilton also is something in and of itself. So yeah, that was an awesome race that took place. I'm excited about our partnership. Berwin, it was really lovely meeting you. I can't wait to start investing in your island, racing on your island, bringing that connection of the blockchain into all the metaverses that are coming through, and you're helping us do that in this space. So thank you to you for that. But also, as my philanthropic soft side, I love what you're doing to give back to IRL in the real world. We've got to still remember, as much as we're focused on the metaverse, we got to give back to the place that we're still inhabiting as well. So I do love that. Really love meeting you. Thank you so much for taking the time out to chat with us. And I'll see you on the tracks.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me.
Cool. Thanks. Thank you. Bye.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Time now is 7:33. We're gonna go ahead and start the EMA. So, as I was saying earlier today we have Nitro League back with us again. And yeah, so everyone, welcome Zainab.
Hey
Maybe she
guys.
herself one more time.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for having us again, June. Yeah, I'm Zainab, Chief Driver at Nitro League. We've got some exciting news and what's happening. We thought we'd share it with your community. Yeah, that's a good start.
Yep. And I think some of us here in the audience have tried the alpha already. And guys, once
Awesome.
again, if you have any feedback about the alpha, please feel free to paste it in the EMA chat, or DM one of our community managers so that we can relay it back to the team, right? Because feedback is very, very important. As you might have figured by now,
Absolutely.
Zainab's
Yeah.
team, Nitro League, has been very focused on delivering a really good, fun game, and so they take all this feedback very seriously. So please, if you've got any feedback to help better the game or the experience, please relay it. Yep. Okay, so let's go ahead and start
Awesome.
with the topic for today, which is really talking about the upcoming beta launch. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct. We go live tomorrow. So beta launch is going to be a simulated race with the game, but what's important here is that you'll be able to explore and try and get a taste of the environment of what the racetrack is like, what your cars are like on the racetracks. This is something we haven't been able to do. And then also you'll get a sneak peek into the world of Nitro Prime and Kiris, which is our main land, our main island in the metaverse. So lots of fun little bits there.
Awesome. And with that actually, so you said that's the simulated race, correct? And the live one is still on schedule to launch sometime in Q1 next year?
That's yeah. Thank you for clarifying that. I'm happy you you mentioned that. This is not the full game that's coming out. This is a simulated race, so your car can be souped up, it can be customized, and then depending on your customizations, your car will end up driving and performing according to your upgrades, etc. Which will be similar to the full game coming out in Q1. And the difference here is that you will be able to play and turn and accelerate as you would in Need for Speed or any of these other games in the full version of the game coming out in early 2023. But with this one, it's really come and soup it up, customize your car, get it set to go, and then watch it take off a lot like what's happening with Formula One right now. A lot of the engineers and the designers are putting the car together, and then you watch it perform on the racetracks right now. So not too dissimilar there. Our drivers on the tracks are similar to the drivers out there in the F1 races, and you can't control them. You can only control the performance of that car and how you customize and upgrade it.
That's a great way to put it. Great analogy. And I suppose a burning question here for most of the community is: can you earn rewards in this phase of the game?
Oh, absolutely. So still tons of rewards, regardless of the full game or the beta game. This is, again, this, I'll just pause on that question and I'll answer it, but it gives you a bigger picture. In our roadmap back in December, we had launched and put on our roadmap that we would be releasing one drop, and then we would be releasing the game in the coming year. Now, in between that timeline, we actually released the garage in March. So our followers in our community would be able to get to start earning rewards. So you've got your own garage every time you register, regardless. You don't have to pay for it or anything. You come in, you've got your own garage, which is where you customize your car, where you park your car, where you can watch live stream tournaments taking place, and you get news and updates there as well. And then all of your upgrades, your NFT upgrades, are sitting on a display case on the other side. We can go through it and share some images with you guys shortly. So you'd be able to do that. And most importantly, you've got a loot box. And in that loot box, you can come in and unlock rewards every single day. So we've got our own legions in our community who've been unlocking consecutively for 12 days, 20 days, 30 days, whatever it is. And then they also end up earning more reward multipliers from us because they've been engaging. But also they have accrued a lot of coin, some booster packs, some different upgrades, etc. They'll get some of those things as they unlock on a daily basis. So lots of incentive there for any of the players to do that. But so with doing that, and then we also added the garage, and then we also wanted to say, well, we've got our cars, they've got the garage, we want them to start getting a taste of it. So we actually ended up building another tribe within our development team to start working on a simulated race, so that we can get our followers and our legions who've been dedicated and checking in every day to go and test out the game as we've progressed. And if you can see, if you've seen some of our footage already, we've done pretty damn well. A lot of it is in 3D. It was initially meant to be only 2D. A lot of it is now in 3D with the race and in 3D, but with a different peripheral view. And then the full game will come out again early 2023, where you'd be able to play it. So we've actually done a hell of a lot of work, and we've built a lot more for our team, and put a lot more load on the team for them to deliver something extra for the community. So with that, jumping back to your initial question, June, sorry.
No worries.
Going back to your initial question, yes. So you can go in multiple modes. One is obviously you've got your car, you've purchased your car. We've only done one drop, and then we did the second, which was the Astro cars, which were generative, and you were whitelisted for them, and you were able to mint it. But way back in the day, in December 2021. We did our first drop, which were the Genesis cars, and those cars and the Astro cars that were whitelisted are the only ones that are in the market right now. So you won't be able to access them. We're not selling more in the market. We're not going to be doing any further drops. It'll be on promo basis. The only place you could get a car, there are two ways right now to be able to get a car. One is either in the secondary market, or two with blueprints. Blueprints will come out a few weeks after beta goes live, so they won't be ready immediately. But the concept of a beta, a blueprint, is you can unlock cards in your loot box. So imagine one of our cars is a Road Ripper. You can get spoilers, you can get a booster pack, you can get different parts of the car. And let's say the Ripper requires 10 cards to complete all of its parts. So you unlock every day. And the more you play, the more you'll be able to unlock, and the chances of you unlocking 10 of those cards. If you got 10 of those cards for Road Ripper, you can take them and mint it. So that means I can come in as a free to play mode. I can check in every day, unlock my loot box, and collect cards. And then I can, when I get to whichever number of cards I require for Road Ripper, I can go and mint that car, which is a value out on the street in the market, and I can resell it. So I literally don't need to put any investment in. I need to invest in the game, meaning I need to invest my time in playing, and I can end up earning NFTs. So that's for me, that's pretty cool. I haven't seen a lot of other games doing that. We just we're keen to see a lot of people come out on the place and into the arena and start racing with us and collecting cards.
Yeah, for sure. I think the like a proper, true kind of free to play experience isn't quite common yet in this space, at least. And yeah, I think it's very important to clarify as well that the loot boxes will not cost anything to unlock, will it?
No, it doesn't cost you anything. Again, you register, you go in, you've got your garage all to yourself, no cost to you to have your own garage, no rent, nothing, and then you have your own loot box, and you just need to open up and unlock that loot box on a daily basis. I would recommend a daily basis, but again, the more you race, the more you play. Our game is built on just the way you would for Need for Speed or in GTA. You build up your rep and your XP, and the more XP and rep that you have, the more chances you have of unlocking special rewards in your loot. So you're incentivized to play more, and then to unlock those boxes all the time, so that you can end up getting something really special and your own NFT car.
Very exciting. Yep. Um, and then I think that the next question for me is with regards to kind of new integrations. Any new wallet integrations or anything special on that end?
Well, we have MetaMask that we're connecting with now, so it's easy. Before you had to log in with your Virtua account because that was the only place we were selling our cars.
Mm.
One of our partners. So now you can go in with your Virtua account and set it up and register, or you can connect your MetaMask wallet, set up your account, and then go in from there. So it should be a lot smoother and easier for you.
Awesome. Yeah, MetaMask by far the one, probably the most common wallet. So I think that's a good direction to go in. Yeah, and I think the next thing here is just kind of talking about minting and what's next in terms of any special dates for next mint. How did the minting for Astro Cars and Performance Essentials go? And then
We did really well. Sorry, go ahead.
no worries. No, that's fine.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yep.
Okay. Okay. No, it was really exciting actually, because it was a different concept from what we initially tried with the Genesis cars. We have our beautiful cars lined up and designed for Genesis. Those will come out eventually for special occasions and features and promotions. But right now, the Astro car and doing a generative drop was something quite special and different from our initial plan, and a lot of people were jumping on board to get on there and to be whitelisted for it. So we did quite well there. A lot of us were excited. Some of our guys had jumped in and said, "Oh, until it ended up unlocking, it was pretty exciting." So it was quite successful, really good. And I'm happy that there are more cars that are coming out and people are engaging in it. Because then that's we've got a finite amount of cars right now that are going to end up racing, and that's what we want to do. We want to be able to build that and then build that community of the people who have cars in this space to be able to engage them and give them a little bit of extra loving until we open it up again and start bringing more people into the game.
Yep. Understood. Cool. yeah, I guess that kind of is there anything else that important updates that we need to inform the community about?
Yeah, well, one would be good is we've got our FAQs coming out. It's called Behind the Wheel on YouTube, so you can check out some of those videos to walk you through how to register, how to set up, how to check out the leaderboard, how to join a race. And we've got a few of those out now, and we'll have a few more coming out. A few as the weeks progress after launch. We'll also be doing some stories on our lore. So you'll get some little fireside chats and bedtime stories about the story of Nitro League and what happens in the world of Nitro League. We're looking at a land sale in the coming months as well. But I'm focusing on game right now, and I really love, again, and thank you for opening it. I love feedback. Feedback is always good. Good feedback. Negative feedback, that's always a place for improvement. And that's the way we look at it with game development and game design. I think it's important to acknowledge that. There are always little tweaks and changes that we can improve on, but there are some other ideas that are usually really badass and awesome that come out from the community that we want to end up applying down the line as well. So I love all feedback. So we love that your community ended up joining us and participating in it. I'm sure they've given some of the feedback to our development team. Basma, who I've interviewed recently, is our game producer. You can find that interview also in the coming weeks coming out, and then you'll also see with Irfan, our game designer. They've worked really hard on the game design and the economy and the logic and the car naming. All of that. There's been a lot of love put into Nitro League. We have a lot of layers, and the game is not. The game can be complex, and the game can be quite simple, and that's the beauty of it. There's not just one layer to it. You can engage and add different layers to the game should you choose to, or you could just go. I mean, I play with my son all the time, and he likes to do. The game, go through the map of the game, and then kill the boss and then be done with it. But I love exploring. I love doing the solo missions. I love adding layers and customizations to the car. So different gamer, different wants, different likes, and I think we've paid attention to that to drive more engagement. It's not just a quick play and drop. So a lot of love that was put into it, and I'm keen to see how the community takes to it.
Awesome. And guys, if any of you here have played the alpha and you've got some feedback from the Nitro League team, feel free to paste it in the AMA chat as well, so that they can have a look. Awesome. Yeah, cool. Let's go into the Q&A section for this AMA and see if the community needs any more clarifying. Yeah, guys, go ahead and ask your questions if you have any for Zainab here. Oh, we have one already. Zainab, can you navigate to the AMA chat section? It's just above this tab here.
I'm gonna look for it. Just 1 second. I cannot. Give me a second. Let me try and find it. Sorry, I'm navigating.
No worries. Yep. I think it's just a couple of tabs above the community AMA one. So.
Got an error. Just a moment. I've got an error message, so let me see if I can find it from here.
Yep.
Could you read out the question? Would you mind if we did
that? Sure.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. So this
we
first
don't
one
have
is
to
from,
have people watching me.
It's okay. Yeah. So the first one here is from iGene, and he or she asks, I just want to clarify, how will you know if there is a race? Is there a limit of race to join per day?
There are going to be tournaments taking place. You can participate in a tournament up to a certain time, and you will be able to know that. We tell you, first of all, we say you've got 3 more minutes to join the race. You've got 2 more minutes to join the race. You've got 50 seconds until you can join the race, and then you need to go through the process And there is a clock that's ticking on the upper right-hand corner on the screen. So you'll see that. You'll see that in one of our videos on YouTube. Again, you'll be able to see that, and it's quite visible for you to understand when you can join a tournament and a race. And there'll be multiple races taking place and tournaments as well.
Awesome. And then I think the second part of the question is, are there any limits, as to the amount of races you can join per day?
Well, I think dependent on the car and the fuel, you need to reboost. Just like every race, you need to get your car changed, or you might need to get your tires changed or refuel. You'd need a certain amount of coin to be able to participate in those races, so you can build those up. So that's just normal, like with any other car. But yeah, if you've got it, and that's the other thing, that's the incentive to unlock the loot boxes. You get a lot of that, and sometimes you might end up just getting like a ticket that says, here, you've got automatic entry into this tournament because you accrued X amount of XP or rep. You can end up entering certain exclusive tournaments that'll be taking place with a pot of rewards there as well. So again, multiple layers of incentive and gameplay and engagement there.
Awesome. And I assume these tournaments will be kind of like well communicated ahead of time as to when it's going to take place and everything.
Definitely, and that's it. You got to join our Discord community as well. We'll always be posting a lot of that and telling everyone what's going on and when to check in, log in, and check out what's going on. Lots of that stuff happening. So always just try and follow all of our links, guys, so you can find out more.
Yep, and we'll be paste the Discord link for this as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Yep, of course. Second question here is by Clark, who asks, will this be available in browser too?
Yeah, it'll be Android, iOS, and web. You'll have everything available to you. It's a lot more fun sometimes, I think, on a desktop than it is on a mobile to try and play the game, but then mobile is available for a lot more people.
Yeah.
So available for everyone.
Awesome. Cool. Third question, also from Igene. Actually, she answered this one correct. With regards to when the tournaments might take place.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead on the next one, which is RFE99. And he or she asks, is the game time consuming, or we have limited stamina/energy? In this case, is fuel, I suppose.
Yeah, so again, there is limitation there, but you can always recharge, reboost. Your booster packs are there, your fuel is there to do that, and then you've got the in-game currency, which is coin to purchase more fuel and booster packs for that, should you need to. You can also end up earning Nitro token as well in some of the tournaments. You'll end up earning Nitro, and you can use Nitro, which is our governance token, to purchase NFTs to do your collect or purchase boosters, spoilers, customization, so you can end up racing or unlocking more rewards. So again, the more you play, the different type of rewards you'll end up unlocking for yourself. So there's always incentive there to continuously play. The races tend to be, if I'm correct, we're looking at sometimes at 3 minutes. Some of the races take up to 3 minutes for you to engage, and some of them may be a little longer, but it's also the customizations there and what we're doing with the cars and what types of cars. It's the class of cars will compete against one another. So I wouldn't put a Bologna, which is my favorite. I wouldn't put the Bologna on the same road with the Road Ripper or the Astro car. Those cars race according to their own class. So it's a fair game.
Okay.
It's like putting a Ford in a Lamborghini, or we had Ford versus Ferrari in a film, but it's like putting a endurance car and with a race car, not the same thing. So you wouldn't put them on the same tracks together, right?
Yep, definitely. So that there are some mechanics that have to do with the track and the type of cars that you have, I suppose. Which, more
Absolutely.
in-depth.
Well, we've got hover cars. We've also got hover cars. And so how would a hover car compete against certain other cars? You need to have them by class, racing and competing against one another. That's a fair track. The other thing to consider here is that a lot of the tracks are also NFTs. So when you design and you build your own racetrack in the future, you can have your own tournaments. And you could bring on different cars should you so wish to. You can build your own community. It's kind of like, I love it. Like, I don't drive a Harley. I don't ride a Harley, but the Harley Davidson community absolutely love their bikes. And then they check out each other's bikes, how they souped up their own bikes, what they've done, what kind of distance they can make, what colors they've put in, whatever customizations they've done. You could do the same thing with your Astro car, build your own Astro car community and say, hey guys, check out what I did with my car. I put my NFT on my NFT, so I could have my Bored Ape on my car as my skin. I could put my own tribe's logo branding on it. You could have a Promisphere logo on your Promisphere cars. Lots of different things are going to take place. But that's all about building the engagement in the community there as well, which I find exciting. I love to see what people have done with their own cars or their Pokemons or whatever it is. You want to see what people have done with their own space and how they've customized it. That's pretty cool.
Yep, for sure, 100%. Awesome. Going on to the next question. It's from Fanny. Do we need a lot of upgrades and car parts just to have a better result in racing, or is it purely a skilled kind of race?
Right now, with the simulated race, probably do. But when we go into early next year, when we want to talk about your own skill base, your skill base is going to be on how you race the car. So it doesn't matter what you do to soup up your car now. You've got to build up your own skill set. When I go out and play my Tekken, it's not. I mean, I get lucky sometimes, or sometimes I get my butt whooped because someone else is better at it than me. So I mean, it'll be more fun in that respect with competition according to skill set. But right now, it'll be according to you souping up your car. You don't have to. I mean, you don't have to. You can see what the chances are of you racing and competing and what happens there according to your class of car. But it is always good to have an advantage. And if you want that advantage, you can unlock it in the loot box. You'll have a chance of that, or you can invest and purchase something as you would in any other game.
I just had one question I forgot already. Okay. So with this beta, sorry, this beta phase, is it open to the public, or is I can anyone can kind of get into that?
Yeah, live tomorrow. Everybody's going to be able to access it. There's a video on YouTube as to how you can download it again. So you have to go to the website. We won't be on Google Play or the Play Store. You won't be able to download them there. You'll go to our website, either on your Android, iOS, or desktop. Go and download the APK file, and you'll be able to install it from there, and you'll be able to play the game.
Awesome. And I just linked the website as well on the chat, so guys, do check that out.
Thank you.
Yep. Next question then is from ArtGG. Aside from the stats on each NFT/cars, will there be some RNG mechanic at play here that would affect the result for each game?
Well, your XP and your rep are based on you. We also have your driver. And your driver, which we haven't touched on here, we've touched on before, June. You've got your driver, you've got your car, and then you've also got different weather. You've got different weather that can impact your race and the track. So if it's raining or if it's windy, etc., as it would anywhere else. I live in Dubai, so I don't see a lot of black ice on the roads, but a lot of people do. But things like that, slippery roads, different weather. Your driver has different temperaments. You might have aggressive drivers. You might have sharp drivers, and that all impacts your performance in the race. So you will have a driver, And again, if you follow our channels, you'll be able to see a lot of them. We've recently had a poll to select the name for one of our recent drivers that have been released. And I think it was Galactic. I can't remember her name. I'll be reminded later. We could post it. But each driver has a different temperament, and then that driver is going to be driving your car. So what type of driver is that, and what is their mood there, and what's the weather like there? These are factors that need to be considered. You can switch drivers out. Can't change the weather, but you can switch drivers out. And if you have more than one car, you can switch the cars around, and you can switch the drivers around. You can upgrade or remove certain upgrades and customizations to the car according to the race, and that's the fun part.
Yep,
to play around with that. Yeah.
Awesome. Irumi just asked, are there drunk drivers?
No, not yet, but that'd be interesting to see. I don't think that's allowed in IRL either. We'll see how that goes. Maybe we'll end up doing one of those on like April Fool's Day.
Yeah, it could be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
I like that question.
Yeah. Arfi says he or she has actually been playing and claiming the daily reward since the first AMA. Good on you, Arfi.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool.
Go get yourself an NFT, homeboy, homegirl.
Yeah. Any more questions here? That's kind of it, I suppose. Guys, if you have any more questions, do make sure to ask. Since we've got Zainab here with us. Just give everyone a couple more seconds to finish typing.
No problem. Love the question so far. It's great.
Another kind of curveball question, but will there be a race where the slowest wins?
We can do that if you want. How bad can you make your car? Let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
How bad could you make that car? Save that for April Fool's Day too. I'll make a note of that one. That's going to have to come out with the multiplayer race when the full game comes out, so you can really suck at driving and see how bad you could do it. It's kind of like not fighting back in Tekken.
Oh, okay. A couple more questions here. Aina Really. I hope I didn't butcher your name there, but he or she asked, is there a maximum number of cars per owner?
Maximum number of cars per owner. You mean, can I own like a fleet of cars? No, that's all right. Because look, the idea here is our original concept with our lore is that, and I'll go into it briefly, is, you know, we've moved on to a new world where we don't have war, nuclear wars or bombings or anything like that. We now teleport. We're in the future. Future's looking good. It's not Mad Max world. Everybody's good. We are at one. We live with the environment and nature. We nurture nature. And then racing is actually a place of prestige. We don't really use cars to transport ourselves anymore from point A to point B. So to be on the racetrack, you are representing your clan or your tribe, and the world is going to be comprised of clans and tribes, and those clans and tribes will be able to lease out their cars to their community. June, if you and I were in the same clan and you were racing, and I had, again, if I had the Road Ripper and you needed a hover car for the next tournament or race, we could lease that out to you because we're in the same clan together.
I see.
But also, you can build yourself up in your own community and start becoming a boss, and you can start your own clan with your own colors and your own flag and banner, which is pretty badass. And then you can bring all your friends into it. You could have a Promisphere clan should you so wish to have that. And then, I mean, this is what you do in your own community now. You've got your own clan technically, and then you'd be able to lease out a lot of your cars for the community to play, right? Yep. So no limitation in that respect. It's a good question, but again, the way we're designing the game is we want to build communities within communities so that they start having their own loyalty to one another and supporting one another, and then they'd have their own tournaments either in the future competing against one another or competing against other clans and tribes. And that would, I mean, I'd love to see an annual tournament where all of the clans are competing against one another, so we can get ultimately the winning clan of the year with the different reward pool.
Yeah, this sounds extremely cool.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's building community there. It's not just gameplay, go and play and earn and build. And we really are keen. We're gamers. We're really keen to build a really cool game that we want to play, that'll always have different layers to it. It's not going to be the same thing I'm going to do every single day to come in. It's not play to earn, it's play to own, win to own, win to earn. You know, there's a lot of different ways to go about it. And then you also want to build a community there within a community within a community. In the future, my vision is to have an annual tournament, again, almost Super Bowl level, getting some artists to come and perform while clans are racing against one another, having tournaments and having concerts happening in the metaverse while we're all hanging out watching the race or racing one another. How badass is that?
Yep, like an actual like F1 kind of event, but in the metaverse.
Yeah, but global, you know,
Mhm.
global. It's how cool is that to be able to get that, and then just to bring out some exposure to all of it and just have a damn good time. Let's just have some fun, man.
Yep. It should really
Yeah.
just come back to that, really.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think they got a couple more technical questions.
Great.
My ask if there will be contests for the best looking cars, so something like a car show.
I love that question. I am starting a program. I'm starting a program. I won't reveal. I don't think we finalized the name of it, but it will be a lot of like, who souped up their car? What have you done to soup up your car? What inspired it? Doing interviews, and that this is something I personally want to do because I love talking to the community and talking to other players and seeing what they're doing. So yeah, I want to see how you souped up your car and what you've been doing. In the future, we're also going to be customizing our garages. So you could put your pinup posters and you can change your furniture around and you can display your NFTs should you so wish to. So you've got an art gallery in your own space, in your own garage, and that's where people can come and hang out. I'm going to be conducting live interviews within people's garages, so we could check out their garage and how they souped it up and what they've been doing there. So lots
cool.
of things like that. Yeah, I want to. I mean, again, this is all about building up the community, and this is something I want to do. I want to be able to work and get this team running and the game going, but I want to have fun with the community too and play.
Yep, awesome. I think that's really, really cool. Yeah, and I suppose Fanny is asking. Well, actually, she was asking someone else, but I think it's good for people to know as well. So what are the rewards for? So what if you claim the rewards, especially now with the daily races, what can you do with it?
You save them up right now. Again, the more you accrue, the more you can unlock different rewards. The more you play, you need to build up your reputation and your experience in the game. So yes, you're going to build all of that up and you'll unlock different rewards. You might unlock different cards. When blueprints come out, you'll get your blueprint cards, and then you'll be able to collect them and then win car yourself. Lots of things that can be done, and check out the garage and the rewards. So we've got another video on the loot boxes as well, and you can see what you can do there. I probably, if you wouldn't mind, June, could you add in our YouTube, because you'll get so much there and you'll actually get to see how it goes instead of just hearing me talk about it. You'll get a visual there and you'll get to see through our videos behind the wheel. You'll get to see a lot of how to do this stuff. And there'll be more coming, so you can learn more about it.
Yep, just linked it again. So
Thank you.
YouTube channel. Yep, of course. Awesome. Nice. Any more questions, guys? I think that kind of. That was the last. Oh, there's one here that I missed. Will there be achievements?
Will there be achievements? Yeah. So there's rankings. There's rankings, and then with those rankings, you'll be able to display it, or it will be displayed in your garage because you've got a massive, massive monitor. I mean, you can't buy that monitor in the market. I mean, Batcave style big ass monitors are so cool. Projecting multiple things there, and you'll get to see that. But also, with your achievements, we'll start unlocking different types of achievements, and then we'll also be looking at solo missions and what you've accomplished. And that also adds on to your XP and your rep. And then with that, you end up unlocking reward multipliers there according to your achievements.
Right. And this achievement system, will it further kind of unlock different things? For example, if just thinking about, off the top of my head, something like the WoW system, where if you kind of earn certain achievements, you unlock, certain cosmetics or things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and that's all in your loot box. You're going to have to go and check out your loot box and get that after you've accomplished either accomplished and won something in the race, made it first or second or third place kind of thing. Yeah, but check out the loot box. I think that's one of the most important things. And you're going to be hanging out in your garage a lot. So would be silly not to unlock it on a daily basis. It's already available to you for free. So, I mean,
Yep.
it's a no-brainer. Just go and do it, guys.
Yep. Awesome. Any more last questions, guys? Just give a few more seconds here. Just a couple people typing right now. So Fanny's asking here, when will your marketplace be open? When will your marketplace open again? Is it still the virtual marketplace, right? That's still
Yeah, that was a virtual marketplace. There's still cars on there, and then I think we had some issues on OpenSea, and I mean issues meaning some people were trying to. I mean, what is it? Imitation is the highest form of flattery. We got a lot of imitators that came out there in OpenSea, so now we're restricting a lot of it. So yeah, you can find us in Virtua, and then we'll have our own marketplace down the line.
Okay. Virtual. Yeah, let me just link that real quick as well, just so they know.
There's some cars there in the secondary market for resale that are available if anyone's interested to check that out.
Did they have a I remember looking at the site before, but did they have a Twitter? Or I think it's virtual metaverse, is it?
I think so. They've got something really cool on there. I forgot what they've called it, but with your NFT, you can download they've got a mobile app that's just come out, and it's got the marketplace, so it alerts you to a lot of things you can purchase on them for NFTs coming out. But also they've got an application that allows you to select the NFT that you've purchased from them, and then you can go and see it in your own environment. So I've got my car, and I can park my car and see it out on the road, which is really cool. Some of them are interactive, so you can see them interacting through the app and through the camera in real life. Pretty cool.
Yep. Awesome. I just linked the virtual one as well, guys. Do check it out. Check it out. Okay, let me see if I miss any more questions. Cool. I think that's kind of it, actually. No more further questions here. Awesome. Okay. Thank you guys once again. I think we'll wrap it up here. Thank you, Zainab, for coming on again and giving us the updates for the launch. Which is once again, guys, it's the simulated beta launch. That's the simulated race. Okay. The beta launch that is tomorrow. Sorry, what was the time again? I think it was 1 p.m. Philippines time.
Yep, 1 p.m. Philippine time. So go and check it out. We'll be going live tomorrow. You can start playing and racing, guys.
Yep. So that's tomorrow, 1 p.m. Yeah. Yeah, and then all these quick alpha tips with the loot boxes and the blueprints. Make sure to check those out as well, guys. I have linked the Virtua marketplace. If anyone wants to buy what they have on the secondary market for cars. The YouTube where they post a lot of their instructional videos. You should check that out as well. And then yeah, Nitro League's website where you will have to go to register, right? So did I miss anything out here? Is there any other links I should provide the community with?
No, you've got YouTube that'll tell you how to connect. You've got our website where you'll be able to start. You can register there and set up your account and connect your MetaMask wallet or your Virtua account. Virtua is where you'll purchase any secondary cars right now. Otherwise, there's nothing else in the market. And YouTube, YouTube videos. I think that's pretty good. And follow us on Discord, guys, because obviously all the updates on tournaments and what's happening, you'll definitely find it on Discord. You could find it in Telegram also. We've got an awesome community in Telegram. But, most recommended would probably be Discord right now.
Awesome. And that link is it's up in the chat as well, guys. Irumi is very kind to link that. And of course, if there's anything really important, the Nitro League team will definitely inform us, and we will also do a retweet or a quick post about that on Twitter, and definitely inform you guys through Discord as well through our community managers. So do look out for that. Awesome. Thank you, Zainab, once again for coming on and sharing the updates with Nitro League. And thanks everyone here for tuning in to the AMA.
Thank you, June. Thanks a lot. I hope I see you on the tracks tomorrow.
Yep, for sure. We'll definitely see Promise you on the tracks. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys. We're going to end it here.
Take care, guys. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, Zainab, Chief Driver here at Nitro League. Let's go through some steps on how to get you guys rocking and rolling. Here's the user guide for the installation. Go to nitroleague.com, go click on that burger on the website, and then you're gonna get the option to download. Go and click on that download button over there, and then what you wanna do is get that APK file loaded up into your mobile, and then you're gonna install. And open that baby and rock and roll, guys. We'll see you on the tracks. Stay tuned and check out the other videos for more information on how to get racing on Nitro League. Hey guys, Zainab, Chief Driver here at Nitro League. Let's talk about signing in with your MetaMask wallet. Don't forget, you gotta log into your MetaMask app. We'll have it installed on your device, and log in and make sure you're logged in before you start processing this. Okay, let's get to opening the game. You've already installed it. If you don't know how to, go check out our other videos to do so. Go click on our little N and let's open this baby up. All right, you got two options, log in with your MetaMask or log in with Virtua. Virtua is on another video. We'll talk about that later. Click login with your MetaMask wallet. Tap on that fox. And then tap to connect, guys. And then that little fox's face is gonna come up and you're gonna start loading and your account will be logged in again already. Choose your wallet that you want to use and enter your wallet details. So we've got tester 1, 2, 3, 4 going in. Don't forget to click agree to the terms and conditions, guys. Sign up and then boom, you guys are already connected. Thanks for listening in. Please listen to some of our other videos to understand how to get ready to start racing in Nitro League. Hey guys, Zainab here, Chief Driver, Nitro League. We're going to talk to you about signing in with your virtual wallet. Before you go ahead and do that, if you don't know what it is, Virtua is the first marketplace where we signed in and sold our asset cars. So people who've already purchased cars through Virtua, you can still connect through the game with connecting your virtual wallet. And let's walk through how to do that. All right, guys, open the app, click on that N, and then your login virtual account details will pop up. Put in the same credentials that you have from your virtual account. Click on that login, and that's it. Bob's your uncle. You are now logged in, and you'll be able to enter your garage right from here. Thanks for listening in, guys. If you want any more information, please check out our other videos of how to get started so you can race. Hey guys, Zainab here, your Chief Driver at Nitro League. Here is a video on how to claim your free car, free driver, and free fuel. Let's go. Don't forget to log in. Once you're in your garage, you'll get the option to start. Press on next, your racer. Essentials will start popping up here. Okay, let's pick our car. Street Okami. Let's do this. Stats are listed below each car. Freya Gold. Let's claim our free car. Right, now we've got our free car. Let's go in and see if we can get our driver. Who is our option? What option are we gonna take today? We got Redline, Boomer. All right, we've chosen our driver. And now let's get our fuel. You can get your free fuel. And this is available to you. You also have the option to access it through the loot boxes. There are many other ways to be able to earn it. Watch some other videos to more on how to access free fuel and other upgrades for your car. Click next, then get set and go. You guys are ready to go and race in the Nitro Arena. Please stay tuned for additional videos so you can learn how to get ready to play in the Nitro League Arcade. Thanks, guys. Hey guys, Zainab, Chief Driver here at Nitro League. Let's go check out the garage, one of my favorite features in this game. You can walk around the garage. Just tap to walk in, the button on the bottom, and go anywhere that you'd like. You have your screen there where you've got your features and your stats of your own profile. You can take a screenshot, just tap on the lower right-hand corner and save that, and you'll be able to check it out in your gallery. You can also share some of the images with your friends, so make sure you do that. You also have the massive screen, so keep an eye on this space. We will have news, updates, and live races that take there, and down the line in the future, you'll be able to have friends come and check out your room, your garage, and you can live stream on Twitch from there. But if you check out the little screen on the right, there's a hidden Easter egg. Turn on the screen by tapping the red circle, and you'll be able to get a sneak peek into the Nitroverse through the window. Check out Kiris. Hey guys, thanks for listening in. Stay tuned and check out some of our other videos so you can learn how to play the game and get racing. Remember to claim your daily rewards, check your notifications, join us on Discord for more information, and wait for more videos like this and become a pro on the tracks. I'll see you out there. Hey guys, Zainab here, your Chief Driver at Nitro League. We're going to be walking through the garage today and talking about cars and performance upgrades. Let's head out into the car pod and check it out. Welcome to the garage. Your car is parked in the car pod right in the center. Check out Street Okami. You can tap on the car to see the stats, name a car, rep, speed, acceleration, handling, durability of the car. If you tap on that little bit of upgrade, you can check out how to upgrade and customize your car on your own. This is all for the tires, brakes, engines, and spoilers you can customize for every tournament that takes place. Your workbench, beautiful workbench, the car parts you own. Tap on the car part button. This is your workbench and how to customize it. All the car parts you own will be shown here. Double boost power-ups. Tap the power-up buttons to see the different power-ups you own. Power-ups are received as daily rewards and may also be purchased from in-game store. These are your double boost, your double up, sabotage, and head start. You can see their functions on the left-hand side. Garage customizations. Let's customize the garage. Let's look at garage theme. You can do a light or dark theme. Your sofa. You've got the work table you can customize and the computer console, as well as your robot hut. That's it for the garage for now. Stay tuned and listen to all of our other videos to learn more about Nitro League and how to join the race. See you on the tracks. Hey guys, Zainab here, your Chief Driver at Nitro League. Let's talk about your daily logins, loot boxes, and blueprints in your garage. Log in daily to claim rewards by tapping on the calendar icon at the top. Once you do that, you can unlock multiple rewards on a day-to-day basis. Try not to break your streak, because once you do, you're going to have to start all over again. So let's crack on and check out the loot box. In your loot box, there are also rewards there. New rewards appear 3 times a day, every 8 hours. So put your clocks on, set your alarms, and go and check it out. Pick one of the 3 cards and see what you've got. The more you claim, the more you unlock. Now on the far hand side are the blueprints. What is special about the blueprints? Well, you can see that and collect them on your workbench. Blueprints can be collected as rewards and can be used to build a car from scratch. Yep, your very own NFT car. Now, different cars require different amounts of blueprints. Some require 5 blueprints, some 10, some 20. But if you want that car and you want to mint it, collect those blueprints, unlock your daily rewards. Check out our other videos for more information on how to play the Nitro League game, and I'll see you guys on the tracks. Hey guys, Zainab here, your chief driver at Nitro League. Strap in and let's talk about parking slots and your display safe in the garage. Here's the parking slots for the cars that you own. You can hold up to 6 cars in the car slots and then 1 on the car pod. Tap on the plus sign to add your car into the parking slots. If you want to put it back into the car pod to upgrade and customize it, just tap on it and tap on the car pod again. You'll be able to see it in garage full view. And here's your display shelf. All of your display shelf holds are the NFT upgrades for your car, your tires, your power-ups, your spoilers, etc. You can click on that plus sign when you have your upgrades and add them there, and you'll be able to check them out. Tap on it again and you'll be able to add it into your car. Please check out some of our other videos talking about the garage, your upgrades, how to enter a race and play the Nitro League arcade game in the following videos, and I'll see you on the tracks, guys. Out.
Hello.